be to be willing to say that I have responsibility for my own state of being.
Mm-hmm.
That um wow. Like wow, the implication of that, especially if I'm hooked into all the ways that I'm habitually responding, which I am.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like if you were to say that, then basically like you have to take responsibility for yourself.
Yeah, and this is what I mean. People don't want to do it. Like
No,
I want to say this is human nature. People don't want to. There's like certain people who say, "Fuck what's going on in the world. I'm doing this." You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? And then there's other people who say, "This is what's going on in the world, so I can't do anything. I'm not going to try. I'm gonna blame it on everyone else." Like, and even if the blame is on someone else, it's actually someone else is causing it. They don't want to just say, "Okay, this is what it is," but I'm still going to do my thing. You know what I mean? Like, I think that like we just don't. There's certain people who can do this and take agency, like, take advantage of the agency that is there, because you do have control over one thing in the world, which is yourself.
right.
And some
Well,
people.
and I think that this is where it does become something that we can give to each other in the ways that we can give. It's like if your mom tells you different stories as a kid than her mom told her,
Hmm.
that's starting to make a different reality for you,
Hmm.
and if you decide to like eat healthfully and exercise and your sibling sees that and sees what you're doing and then they decide maybe to try it out, like that's basically all we can do is continue to try and figure out what feels like a good choice for me, like, oh, like this feels good for me. I'm going to try that. And
Hmm.
I don't know, like, I know that it's like really scary and hard to
Hmm.
let go of making other people responsible for my experience. And
Hmm.
I fight it all the time. And then if I can actually make that shift in
Hmm.
my own being,
Hmm.
um, I get happier, feel
Hmm. Yeah.
happier. So I mean, that feels like an incentive to me.
Yeah. If Yes, I mean, but once again, I think it's because you are a certain person. Like, I think sometimes we don't even allow ourselves to get to that stage in the process. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, it's almost like you have to take the responsibility before you can acknowledge that you need to take the responsibility. You know what I mean? Like,
well, you also have to see examples of it,
mhm,
and like I did grow up with like really radical parents,
okay.
who were very anti-establishment, and so
Hmm.
that's part of my upbringing.
Hmm.
And it makes sense that I've made a lot of the choices that I have to pursue certain kinds of thinking.
Hmm.
And it's not so much a dominant cultural archetype, but more and more like we do have examples. And so I think that like when people it's like with marketing where yeah, maybe everyone's heard the word or a lot of people understand it as a basic concept, but you're still in it all the time. Like we're all marketed to, and we might not realize it when something's being marketed to us.
Hmm.
And then one of the things that makes us realize it is when we have another option. Like when you see like, oh, whoa, that person's doing it like that. What? Like I didn't even realize that was an option.
Hmm.
And if you come from a habit and that's normal in your culture and in your family and society and like you're never exposed to something else, you may stumble upon it on your own, but probably not.
Well, then to me, the answer would be kind of changing your environment. Then, because I like I don't know. Like, I'm going to continue to go back to. I don't think that it's an awareness thing. I think it's a choice thing, and maybe this choice is related to the environment that you exist in,
For
because
sure.
obviously. Um, if you come from an environment that was maybe anti education, right?
Mm.
Like if you're around a whole bunch of people that don't think it's cool to go to school, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The school is there,
Right.
but and there may be people making it difficult for you to go to the school through bullying or like class disruption or whatever, anything like that, or someone, you know what I mean, like anything like this. Um,
It takes so much. I mean, I think it takes a certain something to
mhm,
turn against whatever the dominant culture is, whether
mhm,
it's your family system or cultural, like town that you live in or country. We want to belong,
mhm,
you know, so to accept difference,
mhm,
which is again part of this physiological state, like to
mhm,
accept, oh, that's interesting instead of that's scary,
mhm,
you know. Yeah, and one of the, I was talking to a friend the other day, and it's, part of like the United States political system right now is that there's a lot of electoral college votes and gerrymandering that's given a lot of power to rural communities,
mhm,
even though less and less people live there.
mhm,
And they're finding that, a lot of those communities, people don't travel.
mhm,
And so they don't get out of their normal. And
mhm,
so for them being like, well, why should I care about, someone who looks like someone that I don't even know,
mhm,
or they're living in this, why should I take care of them? Like, meanwhile, I need to be taken care of.
mhm,
When people have lived in cities, you're forced to confront difference all the time and
mhm,
recognize, well, we're all in this together. Like you're a person, I'm a person.
mhm,
And and so I think that that's, it's a big thing of like just recognizing that there are things that are different. And like some people just have a desire, have an innate desire to travel and experience difference, and some people don't. And I don't know why.
mhm. Well,
Astrology.
yeah. Well, this is the thing. This is what I mean. It's just like there's too many differences. Like this is what I mean. I think this is the overall thing. There's too many differences in individuals and subgroups of people for us to ever be on the same page because we all have different sets of concerns, and then we also have problems, especially when we feel righteous,
Yeah.
understanding why certain people feel certain ways about certain things. You know what I mean? Which is
Yeah.
which is like which is why like if someone is worried about like you know being able to have a job or being able to feed their kids or hold on to their land or whatever, their priorities have nothing to do with what's going on in the city. You know what I mean? Like, so,
Yeah.
and like, if we can't acknowledge it going both ways, because I kind of feel like we have this tendency to just want people like, no, you should be concerned about this. You know what I mean? Like, I don't necessarily know that this is valid to tell somebody what they should, like we can make someone aware of it and then say, and then now it becomes their choice. And then they're going to say, okay, I understand this is what's going on over here. My kids got to eat, so this is what I'm choosing to make what's important to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now,
Fully.
unfortunately, we do have some people who do care about just things that really, really aren't that important. You know, I don't know if you could even have a consensus to say something like this, but like, you know, who says a diamond? Like, what makes a diamond important? Like,
I don't know.
you know what I
It's the
mean?
like the gold standard.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's like I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know.
And so and this is what I mean. It's like you can have someone who may really want to work really, really hard. I want to have a diamond. And this may be more important than having in education, or like leaving something behind, like this, you know what I mean? Like, and so you can't get people's mindset to shift like that, like and yeah, so I don't know, man. This is my point. Like I think that like everyone contributes to the system that exists. You know
For
what I
sure.
mean?
Yeah, we're
And
all interested in it.
yes, and even if we say we don't like it, and this could be different or whatever, we still take part in it. You know what I mean? Like,
Totally. Totally. And I think it's just like, I mean, it comes down, again, just to come back to what you were saying, like that we all have choice in terms of what values we want to embody and perpetuate.
mm-hmm,
And that's as much as we can do, you know,
mm-hmm,
like I know what where my values are, and they continue to evolve,
mm-hmm,
but it's, for me, it feels important to like really try and live them,
mm-hmm,
because it's a different, you know, not in all ways, but in some ways they're different choices.
mm-hmm,
And like if I can be something that someone then recognizes, oh, that's a choice, you know, that feels good to me. And
mm-hmm,
meanwhile, I also, you know, I'm like seeking out other people that are
mm-hmm,
making other, because I want to make other choices,
mm-hmm,
and there are things that I don't know about, like, you know, and that, I think that's why we look for teachers, whether or not we call them teachers, you know, friends that
mm-hmm.
are living in a way that feel good, you know, feels good.
Right, right, right. Yeah, I think
Good
that.
thing we got that all figured
Now
out.
we got it all figured out. Now, how do we get everyone else to figure it out? You know, like, so cool.